of Amateur Radio, has declared the United Kingdom the winner in the selection process to host the site for the next international contest. The English counties of Norfolk, Cambridgeshire and Suffolk, all in East Anglia, were selected by the sanctioning committee to serve as home to the 50 operating locations for the competing two-person teams. In an interview with ICQ podcast presenter stroke technical editor Martin Butler, M1MRB, WRTC President Mark Haynes, M0DXR, said organisers are going to rely heavily on amateur volunteers throughout the UK to provide technical help and support during setup and operation. Meanwhile, as WRTC 2022 concluded, the top 3 winning pairs among the other victorious operators were identified as UW7LL and VE3DZ for the first place, DJ5MW and DL1IAO second place, and 9A7DX-9A3LG third. For a full list of winners and their scores, visit the WRTC 2022 website at WRTCfigures2022.it. Newsline would also like to congratulate our colleagues at the ICQ podcast, which has been chosen as a media partner, providing updates as the organising process goes forward. The announcement was made by the podcast's website on the 10th of July by its founding editor, Colin Butler, M6BOY. This is Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
According to a new study, those tiny low-Earth orbit satellites may be delivering something unwanted and much less attractive than broadband internet access. Jim Meachins at L2BHF has the details.
Large satellite constellations that provide detailed Earth imagery, as well as broadband internet access to some regions, have been shown to emit unintended electromagnetic radiation that may prove a challenge to radio astronomers' research. Scientists at the Max Planck Institute for Radio Astronomy in Germany report that interfering signals appear to come from the electronics on board a number of SpaceX satellites. Writing in the journal Astronomy and Astrophysics, the researchers said they made the discovery using the facility's low-frequency array telescope. They drew their conclusions after observing 68 of the satellites in low Earth orbit. The report's lead author, Federico Di Bruno, said, quote, "This study represents the latest effort to better understand satellite constellations' impact on radio astronomy," end quote. The scientists said that the most recent observations confirm there is a measurable existence of the radiation. This is Jim Meacham, ZL2BHF.
The DX community is grieving the loss of an influential amateur who helped organize and promote DXpeditions in the polar regions. We hear more about him from Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
George Giorgiani Client, Uniform Yankee 5, X-Ray Echo, was a friend and an advocate to many. A number of reports say that George recently became a silent key. He has clearly left his mark. In 1993, while attending the IOTA convention in Spain, George encouraged the creation of what became the Russian Robinson Club, a group of adventurous amateurs who would come to operate out of particularly challenging locales in the polar regions. He later became QSL manager for many of the Russian expeditions in both the Antarctic and the Arctic. He had also served as the president of the UDXC and vice president of the Robinson Club. One of his DXpeditions was EM20YU, in which he activated the Chernobyl exclusion zone in 2006 with Boris, UT7UT. UY5XE was licensed in 1966, was an active ham whose contesting activity had won him many awards and plaques. He was also a published author and had been a correspondent for a number of amateur radio magazines, including Radio and Radio Mir, both in Moscow, and Radio Hobby in Kiev. George was but 75. This is Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
July is Scouting Jamboree Month, and this year it's for girls as well as boys in the American section of the Worldwide Scouting Organization. Bill Stearns, NE4RD, has that story for us.
National Jamboree is the largest outdoor educational event organized by the Boy Scouts of America. Held every 4 years, the Jamboree offers a program of educational and training events, high-adventure activities, tests of strength and endurance, entertainment, and camaraderie with fellow scouts from around the nation. 2023 will be the first national jamboree to include Scouts BSA female participants. The Boy Scout program was renamed Scouts BSA when the female participants were welcomed in 2019. The K2BSA Amateur Radio Association will be active from the National Jamboree July 19th through the 28th. They will have a demonstration station where scouts can get on the air and radio merit badge classes throughout the event. The operation was funded by a grant from the ARDC and powered by ICOM America transceivers. You can participate in this event by being the amateur on the other end of the call. Help scouts earn their contact cards and complete requirements for their merit badge. K2BSA will be active minimally from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, on 40 meters through 10 meters as conditions permit, on D-Star, on Reflector 33 Alpha, and on Echolink on Star JOTA-365 Star. For Amateur Radio Newsline and the K2BSA Amateur Radio Association, this is Bill Stearns, NE4RD.
From British Columbia in the west to Prince Edward Island in the east, this could well be the biggest retirement party ever, thanks to a dedicated group of amateur radio and aviation enthusiasts. Sel Emby, KB3TZD, tells us how to join the festivities.
It's likely that not many people know and love the RCAF CC-115 Buffalo aircraft as much as Phil Tanner, VA7XOZ, an Air Force aircraft technician familiar with the inner workings of the search and rescue planes. Phil has joined a handful of other amateurs to prepare a weekend of special QSOs based in 4 different provinces to mark the plane's retirement. The event is being called Buffaloes on the Air. On July 22nd, you can find Phil calling QRZ on the amateur bands as VC7BUFF457 at Comox Heritage Park in British Columbia. Like the other 3 operators, Phil will be inside one of the planes, using its antenna and an amateur radio transceiver. Calvin Winter, VE4AJ, will operate as VC4BUFF462 from the Royal Aviation Museum of Western Canada in Manitoba. Dave Ackerman, VE3UGT/VE30X, will sign as VC3BUFF456 at the National Air Force Museum of Canada in Ontario. And Doug Silliker, VY2DS, will use call sign VY2BUFF451 from Summerside Air Force Heritage Park on Prince Edward Island. The hams will be operating CW, SSB, and FT8, most likely between 10 meters and 40 meters. The hams will also try for a coast-to-coast 2-meter net between the 4 aircraft on July 22nd. Buffaloes on the Air is also welcoming spectators who live locally to attend the events at each of the activation sites. The rest of the world is invited to make contact with the stations, and those who have a QSO with more than one of the operators can request a certificate from Doug. You can find additional details on the Facebook page for Buffaloes on the Air. This is Sel Emby, KB3TZD.
Scottish adventurer Cam Cameron is home safe. You may recall he was joined initially, and briefly, by 2 amateur radio operators on Rockall in the North Atlantic during his attempt to break the 45-day record for a stay there set in 2014. His other goal was to raise money for charity. Cam's challenge came to an end in late June after 32 days after he was successfully rescued by the Coast Guard and search and rescue personnel. He wrote on the expedition website that he was, quote, in pain, exhausted, and hypothermic, unquote. However, he did meet his other goal and was grateful to have helped a number of charitable causes. Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the VK8MA repeater in Australia's Northern Territory on Sundays at 7 p.m. local time. In the Czech Republic, some of the youngest of the young are getting a chance to be involved in an amateur radio camp later this year. Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, brings us that report.
The campers may be as young as 10 and no older than 15, but they'll be benefiting from a lifetime of radio experience from those who guide them in learning radio operating skills and getting on the air. This is the Kota sub-regional camp at Castle Truanov outside Prague. and it will take place from the 15th to the 17th of September. COTA stands for Kids on the Air, and the goal is to serve this very young age group as part of a pilot project. The weekend is being organized by the Czech Radio Club with assistance from the IARU Region 1 Youth Working Group. The future of such a program is on the agenda for discussion at the IARU Region 1 General Conference taking place in November in Serbia. This is Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
Meanwhile, camp is getting underway in Canada for youngsters who are from North, Central, and South America. They have a full agenda, as we hear from Patrick Clark, K8TAC.
Young amateurs in the Americas are getting ready for an out-of-this-world experience at the Youth on the Air camp in Ontario, Canada, between July 16th and the 21st. The campers have scheduled a contact with the International Space Station on Tuesday, July 18th. Meanwhile, they also get to experience the thrill of being chased by call sign hunters by activating VE3YOTA. They go on the air starting Sunday, July 16th, and don't go QRT until Friday, July 21st. There's also a satellite station for them to operate, and they'll be on the air to experience the contact with the birds on Wednesday, July the 19th. Parks on the Air activity is expected to play a big role for the kids, too. 15 QRP stations will be on the air Tuesday, July 18th from 1900 UTC to 2100 UTC, and Thursday, July 20th from 1300 UTC to 1600 UTC. They will activate a 2-for-1 photo location, the Central Experimental Farm National Historic Site, VE-5095, and the Rideout Canal National Historic Site, VE-4882. Don't forget to catch the opening day ceremonies via their web stream on Sunday, July 16th at 2100 UTC, featuring keynote speaker Phil McBride, VA3QR, President of the Radio Amateurs of Canada. Further details about these activities can be found at youthontheair.org. That's youthontheair.org. This is Patrick Clark, K8TAC.
In the world of DX, listen for tomorrow, IW2KVT operating holiday style is IH9/IW2KVT from Pantelleria Island, IOTA number AF-018 until the 14th of July. He is using single sideband on the HF bands and 6 meters. A team of hams will be operating as IP1X from Guyanera Island, IOTA number EU-083 on the 29th and 30th of July. Listen for them using CW and single sideband on 80 through 10 meters. They will also participate in the IOTA contest. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Special event station CR6J is on the air from the 17th through the 23rd of July for the 41st International Motorcycle Rally in Faro, Portugal. Listen on 80 through 6 meters for operators using CW, single sideband, and digital modes. QSL via CT1 EHX. Listen for Dirk, DL1KVN operating holiday style is F/DL1KVN/P from Noirmoutier Island, IOTA number EU-064 from the 15th through the 28th of July. Dirk will be using CW and single sideband on 40 through 10 meters. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Do you believe in unidentified flying objects? Well, whether you do or you don't, as long as you believe in amateur radio, you'll be interested in our final story this week, which comes to us from Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
It's no secret that Pete Guldan, KD0SQJ, and his fellow club members in the Midwest have been seeing flying saucers for quite some time. The flying discs hover with great tenacity on the landing page of the website for N0FOO, which identifies the Minnesota group by its formal club name, Hams of Insignificant Value. But the amateur's true worth is actually as great as the universe itself. And thanks to these hams, visitors in a nearby Wisconsin village are about to have a close encounter of the radio kind. The village of Elmwood considers itself the UFO capital of the state, based on residents' claims of having had so many sightings over the years. It is, therefore, not insignificant that for the first time in the festival's 44-year history, there will be sightings of amateur radio operators calling QRZ on the HF bands. They bring a message of peace. Take me to your feed line. The club will have operators on the air with the club call sign N0FOO from July 28th to the 30th. Let's face it, having amateur radio operators at a UFO festival is proof that there is indeed intelligent life on this planet. Be listening from anywhere on Earth, or even beyond. This is Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
What's the one ham radio competition you can enter without turning your rig on? The Amateur Radio Newsline Haiku Challenge. In the spirit of fun and perhaps a little bit of literary adventure, we've been inviting listeners to channel their most creative selves and share the joy of ham radio in the form of a haiku. On our website, arnewsline.org, you will find a submission form. Use it to send your most poetic offering. To qualify, you need to follow traditional haiku form. The first line is 5 syllables, the second line is 7 syllables, and the finishing third line has another 5 syllables. We cannot accept any other formats. Our team will pick the best submission that follows the 575-syllable rule and represents the love of amateur radio. Your prize? Well, for now, bragging rights and a featured spot for your haiku on the Amateur Radio Newsline website. We may have a surprise for you at the end of the year, however. So, visit our website at arnewsline.org and take a look at this week's winning ham radio haiku. Do you have a piece of amateur radio news that you think Newsline would be interested in? Now, we're not talking about advertising your club's upcoming ham fest or field day participation, but something that's out of the ordinary. If so, send us a brief overview via the contact page at arnewsline.org. If it is newsworthy and we'd like to cover it, we'll get back to you for more details. With thanks to Amateur Radio Daily, AMSAT News Service, the ARRL, the BBC, CQ Magazine, David Behar, K7DB, 425DX News, IARU Region 1, ICQ Podcast, Pete Goldan, KD0SQJ, Philip Tanner, VA7XOZ, Fizz.org, QRZ.com, RockAllXped.com, shortwaveradio.de, UY5XE homepage, Wireless Institute of Australia, Worldwide Antarctic Program, Youth on the Air, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscasts, please leave a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Paul Brown, WD9GCO in Valparaiso, Indiana, saying 73. As always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2023. All rights reserved.
W8WKY. Time out.
The weekly Serenet, featuring club news, trivia, and check-ins from some of the nicest hams in the universe, starts in 5 minutes.
This is KYCY listening. Andy, are you out there?
Sarah and friends. Welcome to Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday Night Net. This is WAAKC calling CQ for this net. This is a controlled net. We request all traffic come through net control. Emergency or priority traffic may break in as required. My name is Fred. My call sign is WAAKOC, although this evening I'll be using the club call W8WKY for our festivities. We will take a round of in and out check-ins first. Go through the regular check-ins. Our trivia this evening will be brought to you by AA8CS, our club president, Gary. Gosh, I miss Russ. And I hope we all have a great time. I think the first thing that has to be done is getting stuff in hand for any announcements. Does anybody have any announcements for the net? Please call.
Get ready for the weekly Serenet starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Take it away, Fred.
Thank you, Gary. Do you read me okay right now?
High five. Doing great, man. Doing great. You just didn't wait for the prompt. That's all. No problem whatsoever. We're all here and eagerly awaiting your directions. AA8CS.
All right, Prez. As I said before, this is the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association's Tuesday night weekly net. This net meets every Tuesday at 8 p.m., preempted by Amateur Radio Newsline at 7:30. This is a controlled net. We request all traffic come through net control. Emergency or priority traffic may break in as required. Again, my name's Fred. My call sign is WA8KOC, but I'll be using a club call, W8WKY, for this evening. And with that, I want to go ahead and announce to everybody, tomorrow we have our Wednesday morning barometer net starting at 7 a.m., and we also have the boredom breaker net at 1 o'clock through 3 o'clock. We link with the Rogers system out in Tulsa. Dustin and Nick will be handling the first hour, and I believe it's Ray, K5CFY, for the second hour. And also Thursday evening will be our monthly meeting for Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association. And if there are any other announcements that I've neglected to put forth, if our club president would come back in and save my tail, I'd appreciate that. AA8CS, WA8KOC.
Wait a minute. All right, I'll do that, Fred. Not that you need saving or anything, but I just want you to know I miss Russ, too. I really do. The only other thing is the VE session coming up. I think that, let me see. Let me make sure I get this right. VE session will be August 5th in Wayne County at the Wayne County Justice Center, 201 West North Street. And that, of course, is in Worcester. We do a couple sessions out there, help our friends out in Wayne County with their VE sessions. And we certainly appreciate Doug, Hunter, and Stefan. Stefan does a fabulous job with our VE team, and he is to be commended for all of the strides forward that he has accomplished since replacing the irreplaceable Barry Humans. And I mean, those were incredibly large shoes to fill, and Stefan did a super fabulistic job of filling them. So hats off to you. That's all I got, Fred. Back to net. This is AA8CS.
W8.
About our business meeting Thursday.
Affirmative, Jim. I just announced that. It's Thursday evening at the Rittman Eagles, is it? I know how to get there. I just I'm really flubbing this thing up tonight pretty bad. Thank you for saving my tail, Gary. And with that, I'll welcome everybody to the net this evening. It's great hearing everybody, and all I want to do is say, on behalf of Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association, Gary is absolutely correct. NAWB, Stefan, has done an absolutely fine job assembling a VE team and getting people licensed, and we're very fortunate to have all the talent and all the responsibility factors from people in this club. With that, I will say good evening to everybody and take any in and out check-ins. This is W8WKY. Good evening.
Whiskey Bravo 8, Victor Mike Whiskey, Jim in Barberton.
Kilo, IZD, India Zulu Delta, Stephen, Palm Harbor, Florida, in and out.
If I can pick it up there was a double right there. The Florida station, could you please re-identify for me? With the Florida station that was in and out, please re-identify if you're able.
Roger. Kilo, Quebec 4, India, Zulu Delta, KQ4 IZD. Go ahead, net control.
The suffix is IBE, India Bravo Echo.
Kilo, Quebec 4, India, Zulu Delta, IZD, India, Zulu Delta. Go ahead.
KQ4 IZD, thank you very much. I appreciate that. We will look forward to hearing you more on the repeater whenever you have time. It's great to hear all of our stations outside of Ohio joining in with us. There was another station that doubled with KQ4 IZD. Would that station please re-identify for me?
AB8OU, Zeke, Coventry.
Got you, Zeke. Who else?
Kilo Bravo 8, Victor Hotel Mike, Tom and Green, in and out.
Okay, I did copy KB8 VHM, and there was a station very low in audio right alongside you. Would that station please re-identify?
Kilo Foxtrot 8 Golf, Brian and North, in and out.
Thank you, Brian. Anyone else?
Bravo 8, Echo, Bob.
The station that just checked in with us, it was awfully scratchy and interrupted. If you could try and get to higher power or a better place, that would be appreciated.
KC8 DEO, Benny Mobile, in and out.
Affirmative, Benny. Thank you for checking in with us. Take care, pal. Anyone else?
KE8 IME, David, Sterling, Ohio, in and out.
David, I read you, but I did not catch your call sign. Could you please re-identify for me?
Kilo Echo 8, India, Mike Echo.
My apologies. I should have that memorized by now. We got you. Any other stations in and out for the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday Night Net?
KC8 DEP, Brenda, Mobile.
Kilo Bravo 8, Echo Tango Victor Bob, Mobile Alliance.
Whiskey 8, Charlie Tango Mike, Chariot, Portage Lakes, in and out.
KU-YPY here in Kent, Ohio.
Additionally, after David over in Sterling, I did catch KC8DEP. Brenda, thanks. We missed you too. We'll be in touch soon. KB8ETV, Bob, thanks for checking in with us. WACTM, I can't muck up that call sign. I'm pretty familiar with that one. And KE8YPY, Henry. Any other in and out stations for the net this evening?
Whiskey Delta 8, Lima Lima Alpha, Neil and Brewster. Good evening, Fred. I'll be in and out tonight.
Neil, great hearing from you. Hopefully the summer's treating you well and you're enjoying yourself. Other stations? Any other in and out stations for this evening's net, please call WAWKY. All right, hearing none. I'll go county by county. That should whittle down the collisions. Any stations from Wayne County checking in as regular check-ins for the net, please call WAWKY.
W8WKY, this is Kilo Delta 8, Sierra Lima Golf, KD8SLG, Nick in Orville.
November 8, Echo Alpha India, Jim, Doylestown.
All right, I did copy KD8SLG. Nick, you should be running this net tonight. And N8EAI, both from Wayne County. Thank you, gentlemen. Anyone else from Wayne County? That was pretty easy. Are there any stations from Stark County that would like to check in on Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday Weekly Net? Please call W8WKY.
Kilo Alpha 8, Mike November Tango, Tom in Canton.
Kilo Echo 8, go Kilo Oscar, Lafayette, in and out.
In town, in and out, please.
After Jody KEAGKO, there was another station that requested in and out. Could you please re-identify? There was a double.
Yeah, that was probably me. Whiskey 8, Hotel, Foxtrot, Zulu, W8HFZ, Tim in Uniontown.
All right, Tim, we got you in here. We'll mark you in and out. Thanks for checking in with us. Any other stations checking into the Tuesday night net from Stark County, please call. Alrighty then, any stations from Medina County wishing to check in for the Tuesday night net, please call W8WKY.
Kilo Delta 8, Echo Papa Charlie, KD8 EPC, Dustin in Medina.
I couldn't muck up that call sign if I tried. Good to hear you, Dustin. Any other stations from Medina County for the Tuesday night net?
Sorry, Fred, from going out of turn, KE8CKO.
We got you, Jody. Did you say you were in and out this evening?
W8WKY.
Yeah, unfortunately in and out tonight.
Affirmative. Last call for stations from Medina County for the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday night net. W8WKY. All right. Any stations from Cuyahoga County for the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday night net, please call W8WKY. Hard to believe Pops isn't in here with us this evening. Any stations from Cuyahoga County for the Tuesday night net?
This is I don't know how we're taking it down there.
Is that Pops checking in with us? K8AGW?
Clark, I think.
Downtown.
That sounds like Clark's voice. Have I got that right? N8PZD?
Roger.
Harry, I know you're listening. Was that Pops I heard prior?
I don't know. I'm coming in direct.
Okay, moving right along. Any stations from Summit County that would like to check in on Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday Night Net, please give us a call. W8WKY on this end.
W8WKY, this is Kilo Echo 8, Victor Quebec X-Ray, KE8 VQX, Joe in Akron.
This is KE8YPY. I did not know I checked into the in and out section. Sorry.
No problem, Henry. We've got you logged in. Any other stations from Summit County for the Tuesday night net? Please call.
N8 LTR on RF, the way it should be.
This is WO3X, Whiskey Oscar 3 X-Ray, John in Cuyahoga Falls.
Okay, so far for Summit County, KE8 VQX, KE8YPY, N8 LTR, WO3X, and I'm going to take the liberty of adding to the list AA8CS because I know he's here with us this evening providing trivia. Any other stations from Summit County before we move on? Hearing nothing. Any stations from Portage County wishing to check in on Silver Creek Amateur Radio Association's Tuesday Night Net, please call W8WKY. Hearing nothing. Any stations elsewhere in this area or out that would like to check in on the Tuesday Night Net for Silver Creek Amateur Radio Association, please call W8WKY. Hearing nothing, we've got kind of a light list this evening, but it's great to hear everybody. And I am going to take the liberty of getting our trivia out in front first, and then I'll get to each station, welcome them in, say good evening, and find out what they've got for us along with their trivia answer. But AA8CS, again, could you save my tape? W8WKY.
W8WKY, this is Alpha 8 Charlie Sierra at a much more palatable time of the day. I got to tell everybody, 8 o'clock is in my wheelhouse. Just saying. 6 a.m., not so much. At any rate, good to be here. Got to say, there's a lot of calls that I haven't heard before. And I just want to take the liberty to invite all of you to come to the Sarah Club meeting this Thursday night. It's always the third Thursday of the month at 7 p.m., and we are at the Eagles in Wadsworth. The Eagles in Wadsworth. All the information is on our webpage, w8wky.org. We'd love to have you, and it would be great to see a lot of people there. And we have room for as many people who'd like to show up, that's for sure. All right, let me grab a quick nickel, I think that's what they say. Yeah, quick nickel is our joke master of the morning. That's what he gets is a quick nickel. Anyway, here's tonight's trivia question. The same material Magic Eraser cleaning sponges are made of is also used in turntable construction. That would be choice alpha. Blood filtration units. That would be choice beta. Fishing buoys. That would be Charlie. And letter D, Delta, is airplanes. I'll repeat the question. The same material Magic Eraser cleaning sponges are made of is also used in A, alpha, turntable construction. B, blood filtration units, letter C, fishing buoys, and letter D, airplanes. Back to net, this is Alpha Alpha 8 Charlie Sierra.
AAHCS, WAWKY. Gary, thank you for clarifying what I mucked up earlier. We are meeting at the Wadsworth location, not the Rittman location, Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Thanks, Gary. I appreciate that. And it's a great trivia question. If you're logging all this information, Gary, I'll take letter B, Bravo. And I'm going to get back up to the top of the list here. By the way, thank you, everybody that was in and out. Do appreciate it. And look forward to hearing and talking with you all soon. KDSLG, WAWKY. Sorry about that. Go ahead, Nick. Good evening.
W8WKY, this is KD8SLG. Good evening, Fred, and Sarah and friends. And I put a nickel in the jar for you there for saying your call sign instead of W8WKY. That's what I do when I do it. Let's start with the trivia question this evening. As Gary is something of an audiophile and a vinyl aficionado, I'm going to go with Alpha and say turntable construction. With that out of the way, listening to Newsline, they once again prompted me to write a haiku. So here is tonight's haiku from KD8SLG. A fractured shoulder, the lesson learned at the lake. Let go of the rope. This is KD8SLG, back to net control.
Ouch. That really sounds painful. And I'm sure you've learned your lesson well, Nick. But I think Gary will have you marked down for A. And hopefully you got that right. We'll relieve some of your pain. We'll get back to you in a minute. Hopefully you're mending well and not too much pain occurs. N8EAI, good evening from WAWKY. What's new with you, and can you give us an answer to this great trivia question?
Thanks, Fred. Well, I really don't have a clue. I'm going to say D, Delta. You got to do something with it as an airplane. I don't know. It's a good shot. Nick, I feel your pain. Been there, done that. I didn't turn loose the rope soon enough either. Been a long time ago, but I can still feel it. And hey, I want to throw a shout out to our illustrious leader, AAHCS, for making us aware of that 13 colonies deal the first of the month. I haven't been on for a couple of weeks, but I got into that, and that was interesting. I had fun. I made a clean sweep on it. I don't know how, but I did. It was fun. Thanks for that, Gary. Back to net control.
All right, Jim. I think Gary's got you marked down for D Delta, and congratulations on the clean sweep on the 13 colonies. Excellent job. You take good care of yourself, and we'll see what the answer brings us this evening from our illustrious leader. KA8MNT, our master of humor in the mornings. Good evening, Tom. Hopefully you're well, and Linda's well, and you had a great get-together with the 6-meter crew this afternoon. What's new with you, and what's your answer for this great trivia question?
W8WKY, this is KA8MNT. Well, good evening, Fred, and everybody else on the net. Well, I'm torn between two questions, and I understand that AA8CS is really big into vinyl and turntables and everything else. So with that in mind, I'm going to pick Bravo. So we'll go from there. And I would like to congratulate Dave for catching a large sunfish on Saturday. So congratulations, Dave, if you happen to be on there. And again, and Nick, I'm going to have to say, ouch. Been there, dislocated one, and it is not good. Not for a while, anyhow. So, with all of that nonsense and everything like that put out there, I'm going to say 7-3s, everybody, and turn everything back over to W8WKY from KA8MNT.
Tom, glad to have you with us this evening. I don't mean to be redundant. Could you please repeat your answer to the trivia question for this evening?
Sure, no problem. This is KA8MNT. Let me see. I have stated that Gary is into these vinyl records and turntables and stuff, so as a result of that in mind, I'm going to go with Bravo, the blood filtration machines. So my answer would be Bravo. So turn everything back to W8WKY from KA8MNT.
Thank you, Tom. For retirement time, today was a little bit rough, and please accept my apologies. We got you marked down for B Bravo, and yeah, it sounds like that's an awfully harsh physical detriment to have happen. And I know that people have problems with their shoulders and stuff, and it's not good. So, got you covered. We got you marked down for B, and we will see what the outcome is. KE8GKO and W8HFZ were both in and out. Gentlemen, good evening to you. I'm going to move on to Dustin, KD8EPC from W8WKY. We say, buddy, how are you, and what's your answer to this trivia question?
W8WKY and the net. This is KD8EPC. Well, good evening to you, Fred. Good evening to Gary and everybody out there. Let me start with the trivia, and I have no idea. I'm going to take a shot in the dark, but I am going to go with B because that sounds pretty good there. Otherwise, not a lot going on. Had the afternoon off, went and hung out with a friend of mine, pulled this giant inflatable balloon out of his shed. One of them big things you set in front of a business is like a advertisement. We set that up in the yard, got the whole neighborhood going. So that was fun. Otherwise, not a lot going on. It's my weekend. I'm off until Friday, so need some rest this evening. Looking forward to running the Boredom Breaker net first hour tomorrow and the Beacon net tomorrow night, so hope to hear you all there. With that, have a great rest of your net. Thanks for having me, and we'll catch you there down the log. This is KD8EPC, back to net control.
KD8EPC, WAWKY. All right, Dustin, got you marked down for B Bravo. and a couple days off. Probably doesn't hurt, huh? Kind of nice. Little break, and hopefully you'll have a good time tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. I will try to get on the board and breaker net for both hours, but probably not going to make tomorrow evening. My wife has other plans for me, and there you go. Plan on being there, but anyway, if I can get out of it, if I can weasel out of it, I will. You take good care of yourself. We're going to find out what the answer to this trivia question is, but first I'm going to get over to my pal, Clark, N8PZD. Nobody ate purple zucchinis downtown. Good evening, Clark. How are you? What's your answer? Clark, I don't know if you're mobile, but you're not holding the repeater. N8PZDW8WKY, I will come back to you, Clark, after we get these other stations logged in here, and hopefully you can up the power or get to a better location. Funny because this morning you were absolutely perfect in the repeater. KE8DQX, good evening, Joe from W8WKY. Good to have you with us here this evening. What's new with you, and what's your answer to this trivia question?
W8WKY, this is KE8VQX. Hi, Fred, and everyone else. It's great to hear everyone. I don't know. Gary's question, I had several secondhand turntables when I was younger, and that's kind of my gut feel. But since he said airplanes, that's what I'm going with. So anyway, I hope that's it. So anyway, this is KE8VQX, back to net control.
Alrighty then, Joe, I think you said your answer was A, Alpha, and we'll see what gives here, but do appreciate being in here on a Tuesday night net with us this evening. Always going to get a chance to talk to you, buddy, and yeah, we'll see how shrewd you folks are at your guesses. KE8YPY, Henry, good evening. It's all yours, buddy, and hopefully you're having a good day. And what's your answer to this trivia question?
W8WKY, this is KE8YPY. I'm having a fabulous day today. But my answer for the trivia will be D, Delta. I've done a lot of research on airplanes, and I feel like that would be the kind of thing they put in the wings or something. But yeah. Andy, BB8MO, offered to give me his ISU 1500M little mobile radio. That's getting some coax for it and a new microphone, and because that thing does like 50 watts, so I'll be able to get farther. The only I don't know if it's a downside is the monoband on 2 meter, but I bet I could get into WWKY better. But yeah, that's what I've been doing, trying to figure out take a coax and connectors that don't break the bank. So yeah, this is KE8YPY, back to net control.
All right, Henry, sounding awfully good from over there in Kent this evening. Nice job. And thanks for being here this evening. We have got you marked down for D Delta as the answer to the trivia, and we will see what that all brings. Thanks for being here, pal. N8LTR from WAWKY. What do you say there, Bill? How are you, and what's your answer to this trivia question? And what's been new with you?
Too much, Fred. Yeah, I'm not going to stay on this real long. The SWR stinks on this mobile. One time I've got a little stick mount on the charcoal grill, and that's what we're talking on tonight. But got the whole backyard spray painted, and tomorrow I bring the trencher home from the rental company and cut about 350 foot worth of trench in there, and then drag out the pile of ground rods and get to work. So that'll keep me busy for about the next 3 weeks or so. Yeah, if I don't pull them off a bit. And all the other. Good question. Yeah, I'm kind of drawing a large blank on this one. I think airplane is probably too easy, so I'm going to use sorter's postulate. When you're having a freaking clue, pick C. I'll pick C. So anyway, turn it back to you, sir, and we'll keep it short tonight. They don't get it.
N8LTR on RF the way it should be from WAWKY. Alrighty, Bill. That sounds like an awful lot of work with that trenching. I would offer to help if you need anything. Just give me a shout. You've certainly been a lot of help to me. And don't overdo it. We've got you marked down for letter C, Charlie. We'll see what happens next. With that, WO3X, John, you're sounding good this evening. Glad to have you in here with us, as always. What's new with you, and what's your answer to this trivia question, WAWKY?
Good evening, Fred, and all on the net. This is WO3X. I participated in the 13 Colonies event, and I got all of the stations, and I was surprised that I got Great Britain late in the evening on 20 meters, and the signal was 10 over 9 here. So that was surprising there. So I sent in I mailed the log sheet on July 5th, and today I got my certificate. Let's see, on the trivia question, I'm going to go with D Delta, and the person who checked in a few check-ins earlier said airplanes, and you said that he took Alpha, but he took airplanes, which was Delta. So I'm taking the same answer also. So with that, WAWKY, this is WO3X, back to the net.
John, not only do we thank you for being here with us this evening and checking in with us, I will mark you down for D Delta, and I will give Joe, KE8VQX, the letter D also. I had him as A. My apologies, Joe. I do really request you forgive me for that one. And I did not get Clark the first time around, so we're going to try one more time. N8PZD, W8WKY. Are you still with us, Clark?
Bravo for D. Answer Bravo.
All right, Clark, we've got you marked down for B, Bravo. Appreciate that. And you have yourself a good evening, okay? I want to thank everybody that checked in with us this evening, the in and out stations, and these stations that stuck around to answer the trivia question and say a few words to us. Very much appreciated. I only have one other call sign to ask what their answer would be to this trivia question. That would be AA8CS, WAWKY. What have you got for us, Gary?
All right, Fred. Yeah. Interesting net tonight, for sure. I got just a couple comments. I just can't help myself. But Henry, KE8YPY, I absolutely adored him explaining and apologizing for checking in when you were calling for in and out check-ins. I love that. That is just absolutely fabulous. Henry, you're going to be a great ham, sir, and my hat's off to you. And let's see, Tom, K8MNT, knew that I really kind of into the old classic hi-fi stuff, opted to take B, which I thought was really, really interesting. And the last thing I have is for our good friend and Vice President, Nick, KD8SLG. Wow, I just can't believe that that's happened to you and that you are right-hand disabled, which effectively means you're left-handed now for the next 12 weeks. Crazy stuff, and the picture of your bicep is unbelievable. However, I have a little thing here that I think that you'll take great. I don't know. I think you'll like it a lot. Let me grab a second. I'm just wondering if a second is more than a nickel. Inquiring minds. Okay, Nick, you know you can always take a beat and circle back, but I think we need to rephrase that to let go of the rope and circle back. All right, let's get to the question and answer to tonight's trivia question. I will say the answer is letter D. NADA was the first one to come up with the answer, followed by Joe. I did catch that, by the way. KE8VQX. And Henry got it, KE8YPY. And, of course, John always gets them right. WO3X, my favorite zero station. Okay, let me grab another second, and I'll give you an explanation. Magic eraser cleaning sponges might seem magic when they remove that ugly stain from your patio furniture or brighten up the plastic on an old toy. But it's not magic, no matter how impressive, but microscopic science. Magic erasers are made from a compound known formally as melanem foam. Melanem is a microabrasive. The reasons the erasers remove stains that your other cleaning products wouldn't touch is because you're sanding with a very, very fine grit the surface of the object and physically removing stains. So that's pretty impressive. In addition to serving as an excellent microabrasive, melamine foam has properties that make it useful in the construction of airplanes, as well as high-speed trains and other transportation applications. First, the melamine compound of melamine foam is naturally fire retardant. It is 67% nitrogen by mass, and when mixed with resins, releases lots of fire-retarding nitrogen gas when burned. More importantly, however, and the reason it is used in newer planes and trains, it is extremely lightweight, but highly sound-deadening material and an excellent insulator.
W8WKY.
All right, there you have it. Great net tonight, Fred. You do a great job, and we really appreciate you being here. And thanks for doing the barometer net as well. Let me turn it back to W8WKY. This is AA8CS 73. All have a good evening.
Wow, amazing characteristics and an insulator on top of it. Really,
good evening,
really great
Fred.
question, Gary. And thank you
and you know what? I'm going to need that question read.
And asking if I would like
you
to provide a trivia question.
I know the answer is I'll give more details about things.
And I don't know what's going on with Russ, but I hope he's okay. And we miss him and his trivia questions and his introductions and all that kind of good stuff. But anyway, great question. Thank you very much. So I'm going to thank you, not only you, but all the stations that participated on the net this evening. I do appreciate everybody being here, and we will look forward to doing this again next Tuesday or seeing you Thursday evening at our club meeting over in Wadsworth. With that, I'll go ahead and return this repeater back to normal amateur use at the hour of 8:45 p.m. 7-3 to everyone, and everybody have a good rest of your week. W8WKY, signing clear.
W2JLS.
My goodness, W2JLS, John, can I add you to our list?
By all means, sir, yes. I'm sorry, I was trying to check in from a new antenna I had rigged up in the backyard, but I had something screwy going on, apparently. But it was good receiving. I listened to the whole show, and I moved down to the radio room to pick you up here to say goodnight and give Gary the correct pronunciation of melamine. Melamine, buddy, melamine. Neat question. Good question. Chemistry. Anyway, good to hear you tonight, Fred, and everyone out there on the net. Thanks for sticking me on the list.
W2JLS. I'm going to cop this again. W8WKY. We got you in, John. Thank you for being here. Thank you for providing the correct pronunciation for that material. And, yeah, chemistry, it's pretty cool. Amazing things. And come such a long way from the 50s and 60s, I'll tell you. Take good care of yourself, John. 7-3, we'll talk to you soon. This is WA8KOC, and I'm signing clear in QRT.
KC8FQV, Fred, I'd like to check in. KCFQV. I tried to go a second ago, KCFQV. If no one comes back to me, guess what? I will be quitting the club next year, KCFQV. So I won't support it anymore.
KC8FQV, this is WA8KOC. No reason to threaten, Mark. Didn't hear you all throughout the net. My apologies that I didn't hear you. We've got you in here on the log this evening. Have a good evening. WA8KOC.
All right, thank you, Fred. Well, there's a problem with the machine. There's a problem with the machine, and they know about it, and that's what a lot of times happening. It's not resetting itself like it should. It's not doing it quick enough. Yeah, I knew about the, I know a magic eraser, yeah, sandpaper, what it is, microfine. And also, I don't know what fire brick is made of, but they got new fire brick that is as light as that magic erase. But I'd like to know what the question was, but I don't care. I don't know. KCFQV.
KC8FQV, KD8SLG. Do you have a minute, Mark?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, what do you want? You want to complain about me? You know, well, the thing is, the repeater has, you know, ever since we've gone, somewhere something along the way has happened that if you have times or whatever, half the time it drops. And I don't hear it at the other end of the station. Somewhere Echolink, Allstar, or whatever, the timers are not working right. So, KCFQV, I'll wait. But you want to complain about me? I don't know. KCFQV.
AA8CS.
Go ahead, Gary.
Hi, Nick. KD8SLG and KC8FQV. Mark, you still there?
Yeah, Gary. I'm here. KCFQV.
All right, good. I just want to make a couple comments. First, I really and truly don't understand where your comments tonight came from, and quite honestly, man, you kind of hurt my feelings. We've always included you in everything, and you're part of the group, and I wrote letters to the Echolink, I guess, whatever situation that is. Those Echolink people, we wrote letters to support you, and so and we certainly, if there's a problem with the repeater, we're certainly going to fix it. I don't know. I don't know where this is coming from, but I want you to know I don't appreciate it, and quite honestly, you hurt my feelings. You hurt my feelings. Over to you, KC8FQV, AA8CS.
Yeah, well, I knew that. Well, and I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I think it's something with the hardware. Since we somewhere along, well, when the new hardware went in, it was not a problem. But then, the last month or so, if I'm on or you have quick keys, and I know they keep talking about this, then there's been times where you'll have check-ins and then it drops. So I don't know if it's the node or the phone or what it is, but the other station came in, he was wanting to check in, and I jumped in, and I guess it just, I don't know, they just don't want to cook right, I guess. I don't know. But no, as long as, I thank you for all that. And, it's just frustrating when you try to go in and you can't get in, and it's like, okay. And I know a lot of it is with the hardware, and it could be bugs somewhere that we can't find. But that was a good trivia question, but I didn't hear it. The only thing I heard was the magic erase, and I knew when you were talking about, I knew what the magic erase was. It is a fiber, it's a sandpaper, but it's so fine, because that's like doing a car. They start sanding paint, and you get down to that. Or if you do a gym floor, you use the sand, a coarse one, and you get finer and finer until you, it is that magic erase material. So KCFQV, but I'll take that. That's not a problem, Gary. And I'd like to just know why we get these drops. Maybe we can figure them out. I don't know. So KCFQV. Back over you, Gary and Nick.
KC8FQV, this is AA8CS. Here's what I want to say, Mark, and I'll even read you the trivia question here in just a second. But I want you to know that we take great pride in that repeater and how it functions. And I'll be honest with you, buddy, this is the first I've heard that you've had any issues with the repeater. And the other thing is, when people are connecting digitally, different repeaters have different timeout settings and a number of other things that have to work magically. And most of the time it works, and it works pretty good. So there's just no reason for the stuff that you said earlier, and that's all I want to say. All right, so we're all going to take a chill pill here, and we don't deal with angst around here. I don't. So, there you have it. Here's the trivia question. The same material magic eraser cleaning sponges are made of is also used in turntable construction, blood filtration units, fishing buoys, or airplanes. And the correct answer was D, airplanes. All right, Mark, I think there's some other people online. NADI, you there? This is AAHCS. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is NADI here. Mark, I want you to, I happened to have the console up during the net because I've been watching performance tests. Your problem, unfortunately, is exclusively related to you because you're using that phone dial-in portal. And what we've been seeing in the last month, because this has been mentioned to me other times, that phone portal that you're using is not staying connected to the network. And that is not a service that Sarah runs or can influence. So for whatever reason, you're not staying consistently connected to our Allstar network. Because I was watching it, and you keyed up, and then you disappeared, and then you came back while you were talking, and then you ended up doubling with Fred. So, unfortunately, that's not on our side of the fence. We can't do anything about that because it's not a system that we operate. I agree it's frustrating, but it's not something that we can do anything about. Nothing changed a month or so ago that would cause it. So unfortunately, I think it's that Allstar patch. I can look at maybe some other connectivity options for you, but just to let you know, we're not ignoring you and we're not ignoring the issue. It's just it seems to be unique to the one service that you're using, NADI.
Well, NADI, you know what? You explained the whole thing since now that where it's at, because there's been different times where it times out or whatever, like I won't hear, so it must be something over there that is not very clean. There's some dirty things, and it just sometimes then doesn't want to hold it. So, but you explained it real well. Well, you were watching the console, so you explained it real well. So, you know what? You healed me 100. You healed me, Jason. So thanks for letting me know about that. So now I know what it's doing. So KSFQE.
Glad to hear it, Mark. I'll ponder your situation. There's some other options, but the problem is they're just about as user-unfriendly as that Allstar dial-in patch that you're using. But it's something I'll have to think about. All right, I'm going to give it back to Gary and Nick and whomever. This is NADI Clear.
AHCS, I'm here. I don't know if anyone else has anything they would like to say, but if you do, come on down. AHCS, standing by.
Yeah, okay. Well, I did hear some good news. They're talking about the ties are coming back down. They're coming back down off of the hiatus of being high-priced or sort of like price gouging. So I haven't looked yet, but I want to think now that if they've come back down, they'll come back down to realistic pricing that they should have been. It was just they ran them out and they were gouging for whatever they could because they didn't have enough. So hey, I thank you, and yeah, we're going to be looking at that now that they came down in price. KSFQV.
All right, Mark. All right. Well, nobody likes price gouging. Okay. All right. KD8SLG. Nick, you there?
Hey, ACS, KD8SLG. I'm going over to the WatchNet. I suggest everybody else within range does so as well. Charlie's a fun guy to talk to, and that's what I do after this net. KD8SLG. I'm clear.
All right, Nick, I can listen. I think I'm pretty scratchy getting down there. There's this hill between me and Wadsworth, and after I get over that hill, it does get a little sketchy. I've checked in before, but I'm not sure how good my signal is. Anyway, thanks for that, and I think I'll go over there and take a listen. This is AACS QSY. And clear.
I guess I missed the Saranet, KD2HCE.
Yeah, and that's been over for a while, KD8EPC.
I just finished RNet on 40 meters, so I'm a little late on Tuesday night, so I tried it. So, Dustin, when are you going to hit the shed over here?
Oh, one of these days here soon. I've been busy. Not so much today. Today I just kind of sat around because I've been hurting today, but pretty soon here. Maybe I'll try to get with you later this week if the weather holds out.
Yeah, Roger. Maybe I'll let you crank up the tower.
Oh boy, if you're looking for somebody to do physical labor, I'm the wrong guy at the moment.
That's why I said that. I'm teasing.
Say, I know a guy we could get to come do it with it, but he'll have to use his left arm high.
Well, they're righty cranks. That's a bad thing then.
Well, there you go. But all right, I'm gonna head over to that WatchNet too. So I'll say 73T for now, and we'll catch up there later. KD8EPC, I'm clear on your final.
One quick question before you go. You were talking about a Volkswagen the other night. Was it a Beetle or a van?
It was a 70s Westphalia bus.
Oh, GP9 will look cool on the roof of that thing with a couple of flags and flowers on it. With that, 7-3, we'll catch you later. KD2HCE clear.
Hey, what frequency is that WatchNet on? KC8WVH.
Millersburg repeater. I'm actually trying to look through my other VFO right now to find it. I don't know the frequency offhand. KD8EPC.
It is 146.670.
Well, Roger, fellas. Appreciate that. We'll head down there. I've never actually listened to that before, so appreciate it. KC8WVH.
W8WKY. Yeah, I sent out, I think I sent out 26 emails asking people to let us know if they were coming or not, and I didn't get 26 responses either way. So might have to do that maybe a little bit later on in here, or maybe there's just people got stuff going on right now. So maybe we can try something in August or September.
Fair enough. Just wanted to know for planning, so I've got the day free again. No problem at all. Of course, a lot of us probably just told Brian. Hopefully he kept you informed.
Yeah, I was in on that as well. But I would have rather somebody said, no, we're not coming, instead of not doing anything like that. But that's the way it turned out. Like I said, you know, the weather's good. People want to do stuff. Garra picnics coming up there next weekend like that. Maybe, you know, people just cramming a lot of stuff into the good weather there. It's kind of hard to say. But we can try it again a little bit later. I think maybe the best thing to do is query the people who check in, say, would you be in the mood for one, and go from there. That gives us an idea.
Roger that. Yep, that would probably be a reasonable thing. But if I'm free, I'm always up for it, Greg. With that, gonna go eat dinner. Have a good night. You take care. And F1X.
My friend, you and I enjoy the rest of the evening, and we'll talk with you soon. And F1X, WBAYYS.
WHDEF repeater.